Undisputed, the Mexican Monster Pack out now.
Boxing King Media out here in Riyadh, days away from a big fight card. Napper, you're here with your fighter Abraham Nova, who's managed to get a last minute opportunity. I'll tell you one, I don't know if anyone's asked you this, but Abraham Nova, has he got anything to do with Nova Sports?
No. Nova is part of the founder's name, so it just makes just a coincidence.
I'm guessing you guys must have had that conversation when you signed him up.
Yeah, we joked about it yesterday. Yeah.
I've not had a chance to speak to him yet, but another question you must have asked him, that funky beard, man. What's the inspiration behind that look?
I don't know, I haven't asked him. I'm going to ask him tomorrow. I have no idea. Yeah.
What do you make of his chances? Obviously, Raymond Ford, last minute call up, should I say? How confident are you for your man?
Look, I'm not going to be delusional. Raymond Ford is a very, very good fighter. He's a fighter that when I seen him fight, I was live watching the Nick Ball fight. He's a good fighter, but he's now in a new division. This is his first fight at super featherweight, and Abraham Nova is one of the biggest super featherweights in the division. So how is he going to cope with his size? Is he going to be able to be slick and dictate the fight how he wants to against a big guy? I believe Abraham Nova is the bigger and the stronger guy. We're going to see. So I think if Abraham Nova can dictate, whoever dictates the start of the fight will win. If Abraham can dictate and make it be a fight, use his size, rough him up, we'll get a W. If Raymond tries to be slick and stuff and it becomes a chess match, it may favor him. So Abraham's fully aware of what's in front of him. We respect our opponent, but he wouldn't have took the fight if he didn't believe that he can pull it off.
Fair dues, and I rate you for being honest about his chances. And then obviously the main event, I know you're fairly close to both teams. I think this week a lot of people are quite intrigued by it now, because the big talking point's been the shape Dillian's turned up in, and all those that people are putting a narrative out there saying, oh, he's taking it for the payday. You don't take fights for a payday and then go and spend a lot of money and turn up in shape, do you?
Yeah, nah. I don't think he took it for the payday. I think he wants to prove a point. He's in the best shape I've ever seen him in. And it's very hard to say who's going to win, because Moses Itauma, at this age he's at, I'm pretty sure he's better than Martin Bucoli was at 20, better than Ajit Kabayal was at 20, better than Zhang, better than AJ, better than Fury, better than Dubois, better than a lot of these guys, better than Dylan Whyte at 20. So is this the next generational great? I don't know. I'd even maybe better than Lennox Lewis was at 20. Maybe, because he's progressing so fast. A lot of these guys were still amateur at 20. So is this the next generational great? We don't know. What's his ceiling? We don't know. But if the old Dylan turns up and Moses is not as good as what we presume, then maybe it's too early. But I don't know. I feel like Moses is something special. Everyone that sparred him, especially that Lovin Sokoli, what he told me, he said on camera and off camera, he told me even in more detail, it seems like this is something special. So I guess tomorrow's going to be not tomorrow, but Saturday's going to be the first time we're going to actually get to see, because if he is the real deal, then damn, we've got an exciting 10 or 15 years in front of us.
How does Dillian Whyte win this, in your opinion? Like, what can he do? He's known as a body snatcher. Does he go to the body? Does he go to the head? Or does he tuck up early? What does he do?
He's got to use his experience and stay alert. Don't get hit with any silly shots. Like when he lost to Povetkin, he was kicking Povetkin's ass, and then he got caught with something out of nowhere. And then when he fought him the second time, he was more switched on and got the job done. So I think stay switched on and use his experience, his size, and yeah, he's the body shots, the left hook. But again, look, I don't know if Moses Itauma is as good as what it looks like, then man, it's not a fight I would bet on, because you just really don't know. The guy knocked out Was it the first round he knocked out Dempsey McKean? It took Hrgovic 12. Hrgovic is a serious heavyweight fighter. So what do we have in front of us? We don't know what we're about to see. It seems like we have something really special in front of us, but let's see.
You know, from your experience in S&C training, and obviously you're decent shape yourself, with regards to Dillian, at that age, what kind of graft has he done to whip himself into that sort of shape? Like, how hard would it be for him to look that good?
Yeah, I spoke to him about that, and he told me that it was more, he's up the cardio and tweaked his diet, and you know, the diet makes a lot of difference. So he's eating clean, you know, hydrating himself well, running a lot, and the weight fell off.
Good stuff. Well, it should be a fascinating fight, that, and I think you've kind of given a decent breakdown of that. The other stuff I want to talk to you about is Chris Eubank Jr. I know you've done a few interviews, you've covered the whole rehydration thing, but just to clarify for our viewers, the rematch, obviously it's done and dusted now, it's in November. The rehydration, which was a massive talking point, is that still part of this second fight?
Yeah, same terms as the first fight. Look, we just wanted to get the fight over the line. I'm 100% sure Conor's not confident to do it without it. We knew that when we first signed the fight as a 2-fight deal. But we don't want to make too much of a big deal about the rehydration, because look, we won the first fight and the aim is to go out and win the second fight in better fashion than we did in the first fight. So, yeah.
Because one of the things I think in the post-fight interviews and in the last few weeks, you know, Eddie Hearn's, one thing that he's always said, we've signed, it's the same terms as the first fight. So was he basically right, is what I'm saying? Because that's what he said.
He ain't seen our contract, so he don't know. He don't know if certain things have changed or have not changed. So, but again, Conor's not gonna. He doesn't have the confidence in his ability to fight Chris at 160 without a rehydration. He feels safer knowing that there's a rehydration. He wouldn't do it without a rehydration. I don't feel like he has the faith in his ability to do it without. He doesn't want to go in the ring with Chris knowing Chris is going to be a lot more bigger than him. Chris was dehydrated last time and got a W, so it makes sense. But look, we don't want to dwell on that too much. What we want to focus on is that we're going to give the UK another amazing event, and you're going to see a much better version of Chris second time out.
There's obviously a lot of talk on the fight getting made, and obviously a lot of viewpoints about the rehydration and the contractual issues, etc. I was watching TalkSport earlier. You know, there was a debate on between Gareth A. Davis, Adam Cattrall, Simon Jordan's done something as well. There's a lot of quotes that kind of stick out to me. You know, one of the ones that they all kind of reiterated was, especially Adam Cattrall, that he's taking the money over his health, and obviously it was amplified as such a big issue in the first fight. Even Chris Senior's obviously been vocal about the fact that he didn't want it to happen, and he was saying he's not going to be any part of the fight if it happens again. He's going to urge him to retire. So obviously you work with him closely, speak to him closely. Is this an issue of health versus wealth, or what is it? What is the issue? Like, you tell me, because you guys are going to know better.
We're in a sport where Oscar De La Hoya went down to welterweight after not fighting at welterweight for 6-7 years to get the Pacquiao fight because it was a money fight. We're in a sport where Ryan Garcia went back down to lightweight to get the Tank Davis fight with a 10-pound rehydration clause, which is it's exactly the same like Eubank's case, where it's below what the IBF would allow. We're in a sport where Miguel Cotto, to get the Pacquiao fight, he fought at welterweight but at 145. Canelo Alvarez, to get the Floyd Mayweather fight, he did a catch weight of 152 instead of 154. Sometimes to get these mega fights across the line, you know, certain things need to be done like this. Sometimes, if all of these people not putting money before their health, well, their job is to get punched in the face. Anyway, their job is to get hit hard to the body, get hit hard to the face, regardless. So I wouldn't want to be a boxer. So yeah, it's not ideal, but on multiple occasions, you know, Roy Jones went all the way up to heavyweight, then came all the way back down to light heavyweight, and then started losing. You know, is he putting money first? He was willing to fight Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. Andre Ward just said he wants to fight AJ. Is he putting money before his health? These are their fighters at heart, and you know, you can't expect to expect a fighter to be nervous and shaky. They're willing to do what it takes to have fights that they believe they're going to win, and Chris agreed to those terms because he believed and he got an incentive, but we believe we was going to win, and we won, and we're going to win again.
I don't really want to push too much on the whole rehydration side of it, but you know, one of the comments that Adam Cattrall did, in fact Gareth A. Davies said it, he said that he was in hospital for 36 hours because he was chronically dehydrated. Obviously when you see things like that, people out there going to comment on that, especially, you know, the casual fans that watch the sport. Reassure them or tell them why this is not dangerous, basically.
I can't tell you it's not dangerous because that's a lie. Of course it's dangerous. The dehydration wasn't the only issue with Chris leading up to that fight. If Chris decides to go public and explain what the other things he was going through leading into that fight, that's on him. But the dehydration wasn't the only thing he was dealing with, which didn't help the fact that he was fighting with a cap weight. So next time out, as I said, you'll see a better version.
The other talking point is they're talking about money, belts. That argument, whether is it about money, is it about belts? Obviously, I would assume Chris has earned a lot of money in his career. Obviously, you're part of his management team. What is like the overall plan? Is it money? Is it belts? Like, you know, what do you guys put first? Because to be fair, I speak to a lot of fighters, and most of them, I think 99% of them tell me they would rather have the money over belts. So that's what I get told. So you tell me, because this is another talking point.
The problem with Junior in the middleweight division is I've spoke to every single champion, Lara's team, Janibek's team, Adamez's team. I've literally seen Janibek fight for Andrei Mikhailovich. The fight was won by No Limit for $351,000. Janibek gets 80% of that. When I speak to Team Janibek about a fight with Chris, they're asking for $6 million, which is a ridiculous number. Which, like, if you do the maths on a pay-per-view in the UK at $19.95 or £25, how are you gonna afford to do this fight? It's impossible. So everyone is saying, oh, Chris doesn't want to fight for titles because he wants to fight for money. But the champions themselves, when they get linked to Chris, they're outpricing themselves because they look at Chris is the payday in the division, so it becomes a problem. Same for Lara. He wants a lot more money to fight Chris than anyone else in the division, than each other. If Lara, Adames or Janibek want to fight each other, when it comes to fighting Chris, they're asking for double. So they know the value. So when that's the case, then we can't now, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're gonna fight for $500,000 because we want to. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. So Adames wants close to $5 million. Lara wants one of his biggest paydays of his life. Like three or 4 million they're asking for. Janibek wants $6 million. It's like a Lara Eubank, Adames Eubank, Janibek Eubank on pay-per-view is very difficult to sell. You're gonna have to have an incredible. You're gonna have Boatsy Yard on the undercard. Like, how is it gonna sell? We need translators. None of them speak English. The rest of it. So that's the problem. Now, if Chris doesn't want to fight for titles, why do we want to fight Canelo? We don't want to fight Canelo because Canelo's got titles. So yeah, we deal with Conor Benn because that's the legacy, family feud, legacy, generation, like, and the rest of it. End up being one of the best fights this century. After we'll go 168 and we'll fight for titles against Canelo, hoping he beats Crawford. If Crawford wins, maybe we look at Crawford. We're not going 168 to fight money fights at 168. He wants to fight Canelo because Canelo's got them belts. So it's not that he doesn't want titles. And a fight with Canelo will get the number he wants and Chris will get the number he wants. Unfortunately, at middleweight, it's different. If the champions at middleweight would fight for their minimum purses in their contract, the Eubank fight would have happened a long time ago. But when they get affiliated with Eubank, they now want to get paid an unseen amount of money. Why? They know the value of the guy. The guy's a star. He's the biggest name in the middleweight division, and everyone wants to get paid to fight him. Chris wants to get paid himself, so it is what it is. If people want to say Chris is after money, they also need to have the same energy for the champions. They're also after money to fight Chris.
I suppose based on what you're saying there, if a fan that's watching this who doesn't regularly tune into the sport, you probably got to ask yourself the question: when you're 60 years old and you look back at your career, do you want 3 world titles? You want the WBC, IBF, WBA belt on the mantelpiece, or do you want 10 million in the bank account? I suppose that is the ultimate question everyone's got to answer.
Yeah, yes, but at the same time, it's not even possible because before any pen hits the paper, they're not agreeing a realistic purse. So we can't even get, it's not even an option. Yeah, do you get what I mean? The title shot's not even an option. How do we do the NAPPER fight? This guy wants $6 million. From where? He fights for 6 figures. So how does that make any sense? So it's not even an option. That's why we'll have to look at Canelo where the numbers make sense. He's asking for the type of money that people get fighting Canelo. You know, it's like $6-7 million all them guys were getting. So it's crazy.
Last question I've got for you. Obviously, we saw when the fight fell through, and there was like, you know, I spoke to you on a Zoom call, and you said, you know, there's still talks ongoing. So it's good to see that you wasn't just saying it. There was obviously stuff still going on in the background. So you was right about that prediction you gave me. But there was obviously, because the fact that the news came from Ring Magazine, it would have come from Turkey, you know, someone may have upset someone. How hard was it to kind of bridge that gap again to get the fight back together? Because clearly somebody pissed somebody off and it was off the table, but you guys recovered it. So give us a bit, I want like a bit of a scoop here. Like, did anyone have to apologize, or did, you know, what happened?
A lot of Zooms, a lot of group WhatsApp calls, a lot of phone calls to +966 phone numbers, but we got there in the end. Yeah.
That's good. A nice little short reply there. I'm not going to get anything else, am I?
No, because the details base up what went wrong. I don't want to expose anyone. There were miscommunications behind the scenes, but it's fine. It's done now, so you know it doesn't really matter. So the main thing is the fight is here, the date is there. Matchroom and Connor are happy with it. We're happy with it. Let's get it cracking.
Good stuff. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it's just like big show after big show. You know, Turkey's literally changed the face of boxing. So yeah, thank you very much for that, NAPPER. Unless you got anything else to add?
No, just watch Nova do the business this Saturday. Let's go.
Respect isn't given, it's earned. In blood.
Undisputed, the Mexican Monster Pack out now.